I'm Pat Williams and I live in Hulse Road, and like many, I am one who will be losing their homes by the implementation of the Inner Relief Road. We were promised first by the council that we could be adequately rehoused in a property that they would build for us, and we were quite happy about that. But many now are concerned that they are finding themselves facing having to go into rented property at rents which they can ill afford to pay.
Mr. Maidment, how urgent is this scheme and how many houses are going to be affected?
Well, it really is very urgent, because originally the scheme, the second stage of the scheme was proposed to be commenced in 1969. It's now come forward to 1967, and it is hoped that we'll make a start in the autumn of this year. I think there were 23 houses originally affected, but of that 23, I think only 9 cases remain still to be settled.
Well, first of all, they offered us either to buy our own property, we could buy other property, or else we could move into a council house, which we don't want to do. We want to keep our own property.
Do you have a family? Yes, we have 3 boys. And what are your plans?
Well, we haven't really decided yet, you see. Until we know, we can't make plans, can we? It's been 5 years, nearly, since they published it, you see. And we don't really know quite what to do.
What about the unhappy people in these houses?
Well, we're extremely sorry for them. And in fact, my committee and indeed the whole council are most anxious to do everything they possibly can to help them, and as far as we're able, to see that all get a fair deal.
The majority of the people here think that whatever compensation they're going to get, there's no question about it, they are going to be out of pocket without a doubt. And quite frankly, we see no reason why we should be out of pocket. It's the council that wants the road, it's the council that wants us out. We don't want to move, and we feel that they should make adequate compensation. People who have a house should be in a position to buy a house similar to the one that they've got.
Well, the City Council, of course, will bridge any gap if she decides to have a new property built. The gap between the money she gets as compensation for existing property and the cost of the new accommodation. We will bridge that gap by a loan, which can be done, of course, under our normal housing scheme.
Is it not possible for you to deal with this problem on a house-for-a-house exchange basis?
I don't think it is really. You see, unfortunately, owing to the very steep rise in costs of both land and buildings, particularly in recent years, I don't think one can really expect to have a new house built for the same amount of money that one would get for the sale of a very much older house.
We've got a very low mortgage at the moment, and we know that the present one is a 7 1/8, and I don't see why we should be affected, why we should have to pay more just because they want to pull our house down.
Well, we've been to the Ministry of Transport last week, and we are seeking some sort of clarification to the points they made in their recent circular, which concerns a grant which the ministry feels it should make to assist people who have been disturbed by road programs. I think any such assistance coming from that ministry, however, will probably have to go into the housing pool, but I think it will enable us to assist these displaced people in some measure.
If they give you a valuation which you're dissatisfied with, do you know anything about the appeal procedure? Well, I believe you can appeal to the Lands Tribunal in the end, but we're hoping it won't have to come to that. We'd still go to any lengths to make sure that we do get adequate compensation. I think that's the very least we should have.
If, after agreement between their own surveyor and the district valuer, they still feel dissatisfied, I feel the only course open to them is to go to the Lands Tribunal.
Whose decision is final?
I believe so.